Okay. Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Football Bandits podcast. Because,
Bandit football back.
Bandit football.
what's that? What's this?
So
Look, yeah,
episode
It's
22 or something.
Bandit.
That man
it's
doesn't know the name yet.
episode 22. Okay. Welcome to another episode of the Bandit Football Fans podcast. There's going to be an outtake where I fucked that up, by the way. But again, in my defense, it's been a while. So yeah, this is D, the Arsenal fan, finally back after like my tiny hiatus, and we have quite a full house today because we got guys. Start introducing yourself. Who's gonna go first?
This is Casey.
Ben.
Oh.
Sorry, there was like a pause, so I thought I'll just do it quickly. Hi, my name's Ben. I'm a Liverpool fan. I do that now in real life. I'm just like, yeah, I'm a Liverpool fan. And
And
people
then
are like, why are you like leaning back for? It's like, oh man, don't worry, man.
Oh.
I thought it was like a dubstep song in the background.
Deji United fan.
Chelsea fan.
It's Case Kalechi, the German Aspie. Chelsea fan.
German Aspie.
I thought you were Austrian as P. Kelf.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm Austrian.
Doesn't even know where he's from.
Multinational Aspie. Yeah, is what we're going with at this point.
The
So-
Austrian. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
With me now.
Again, guys, I have to say this. It seems I am the agent of chaos host, whereas when I'm hosting, everything just goes. And honestly, I claim it with a badge of honor. But anyhow, like a badge of honor rather. Anyhow, so it's been another week of football in the Prem. Some of us left and happy. Some of us middling. Some of us going through our usual shit where we're just kind of like, it's another week done. I, for one, was one of those, it's another week done. Until, of course, and I think we should start with this because this was just banter. Until I saw Spurs blow a 3-0 last 10 minutes. Firstly, as an Arsenal fan, that is just, that was like, honestly,
Icing on the cake.
Dude, you know what? It's not even. It was like a straight shot of adrenaline to the heart. I was just kind of like, "Oh my god, that's beautiful!" It's so, especially after they hyped up Bale coming back, and then he missed that chance, and then West Ham just decided, "Fuck it," and I was just kind of like, "Yeah."
That's evil, man.
What's this?
That's evil, bro.
Just so we're clear, I think we've already established that when it comes to shithousery in relation to Spurs, Stoke, and West fucking Brom, I have no limits. There is no level I will not to shit on any of those three teams.
Don't test
So,
this. Don't
So,
test.
seriously, don't, I'm dedicated. But so let's start with that game and then we'll move on to our individual games. Spurs, what the fuck happened there? Because I don't even know. Who wants to have a crack at trying to explain that?
Same thing. It's the same thing that happens with them every single time. What is this guy doing? It's the same thing. It's the same thing that happens every single time, bro. I think I'm not gonna lie here. That game was fantastic. I don't even care what they were thinking, man. The minute they lost that the last goal, what's his name? Lanzini or whatever his name is, bro. You see that goal? That goal was. Mwah. That's what it was, bro.
Yeah, that is once in a lifetime.
You gave it an 8.33. You gave it an 8.33 and you said, Mwah.
Yes.
Bro, 8.33 is. Mwah. Listen, you know me. My ratings are very, very. I'm very, very harsh on my ratings, innit? Usually, I see goals like that and I'm like.
You're not harsh on the ratings. You're a dickhead on your ratings. And you stance every time there's a goal and we go, Deji, rate that goal, please. It could be the man could have taken a shot from outside the stadium, bent the as the ball went in, and you still go, that's a 3.5 for me. So yeah.
That's right.
That was an 8. I think you know what made it an 8.33. Yeah, was the hype because I was rating. Remember, I was rating Tottenham, and I was like, mate, they actually played first half. They were fantastic. They played sick, and Son is my guy in it. Like, Son is sick. So when I see there and stuff, Huh?
Yeah,
100%, bro. Listen, when he was doing his magic, I was like, bro, this team is looking all right. I'm thinking Mourinho's might be onto something. But then I can imagine. I think I felt the hype of all the Spurs fans in it. And then when when them 3 goals went in, I was like, shit. I know how you men are feeling, bro. I was like, damn, that must hurt. That's painful, man. But you know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. West Ham did well to come back into the game, but I think Spurs just did a Spurs, man. That's all they did in it, really and truly. They just let it go. That's bad. That is
They
bad.
stay, they stay consistent on that
They
shit.
basically did an Arsenal, basically.
Whoa, whoa. Calm down. Let's not chat shit here. Like, is there an Arsenal game where we blow a 3-0 lead in the last 10 minutes?
No,
Like,
4-0. Okay.
No, you're normally 3-0 down already, so.
this shit. Anyway, like that. I remember the 3-3 draw with Bournemouth. I was happy for that point. Like, you know, let's not get twisted.
Fair enough.
Don't just check yourself. Also, you're a Chelsea fan. Calm down. Go talk to West Brom. Anyhow,
Anyway,
yeah. So that
can I add something to what they just said?
Go for it.
Yeah, basically, like, if, for example, if I was Harry Kane and I have a child, then I'll be like, hey, remember that day we always beat West Ham 3-0. But I think my game of the week was Celtic versus Rangers, when Rangers won 2-0. For what? Yeah.
For what is what? Huh? Cool.
That's for one. Celtic lost an old firm derby, innit? It was good to see. 10 over.
Now,
Big up Stevie G. Best manager in Scotland. I don't know how much that means in the grand scheme of things, but
but the thing with the Spurs loss as well was, I think why it was baffling was kind of like Deji said, this was not a typical Spurs team. They were playing quite well. They did, like, essentially they did everything, and then they just kind of, like, for shits and giggles, they just decided we want to be the banter club this weekend and just push that button. And then the last 10 minutes, everything just, because the first goal went in at 3-1, and I was like, okay, that's, like, sure, West Ham have shown, like, have been quite decent this season. They've done well. They beat Wolves earlier in the season. It seems like West Ham is one of those teams that they will get a goal in. Then the own goal went in, and I was like, surely not. This can't happen. I say this, but in the deep part of my soul, I really did want it to happen. Like, my football brain was just kind of like, no way is Spurs going to do this. But the petty Arsenal side of me was just kind of like, oh God, I hope they do it. And then they delivered. But also it was the goal that they conceded at that moment, is because it wasn't even a regular standard goal. It was a goal that you don't score that, like, most of the time. Most people don't even score that in, like, regular time 90 minutes. Not to talk about extra, like as a player, because people always make it seem like long range goals are something like, oh, just whack it, and most of the time keepers have those things covered. They, like, if it's coming from a distance, the keeper sees it, he follows the way, unless it takes a deflection, which this one didn't.
Unless it's Kepa.
Like, yeah.
No, but you know what? What's his name? Lloris got criticised though. I don't know who was in the studio, yeah, but he got criticised because they said, I think it was Souness, but fuck Souness though still. But he apparently he turned around and said that, why did he save it? Why did he try to save it with this arm? He should have went and saved it with his right arm. Do you get what I'm saying, kind of thing? Which I've always questioned though. To be fair, I'm like, why do goalkeepers, when they go in for like them top bins, why do they never save it with their right hand? They'd rather save it with the opposite hand, if that makes sense.
JG, I was expecting Souness to ask why Paul Pogba didn't make the save.
Bro, I'm not even.
you know, the thing that I want to know is, why wasn't Paul Pogba there? That's what I want.
For the goalkeeper question, I think is one of those things where I don't get why, like, pundits or that played as outfield players question goalkeeper technique, because for me it's like, if Van der Sar, for example, comes on and goes, oh, I can see a problem with how he attempted to save that, I'll take that and I'll go, you know what, fair enough, he's been there, he's done that. But if an outfield player, and I think every goalkeeper, I think, has a preference for what they like to do in certain situations. like for me, for example, the difference between Leno and Martinez is Martinez, when we had Martinez, oh, man. Anyhow, when we had Martinez, my thing about it was every time the ball came for Martinez, Martinez tended to try and catch the ball, whereas Leno seems to have this tendency where he prefers to parry the ball away, and then certain situations it comes to bite you in the ass. But with the Lloris save, I don't see what's the problem with Lloris save. I'm just kind of like, he made an attempt for a ball he wasn't going to get to.
I saw a video from Ben Foster. I think he loaded it on Twitter. He was just reviewing some gameplay, some goalkeeping footage, and one of the saves was one where a goalkeeper went with his other arm, like quote unquote other arm or wrong arm, and Foster said like basically screw anyone that says that you shouldn't do it. He was like, in my book, that's the way to go all day long. So I think what you're saying, D, about the goalkeeper's like preference, I guess it ultimately comes down to that. Some people, like physically, your mobility doesn't allow you to get that reach. Other people might be able to.
Exactly.
I think as well, a lot of it comes down to like your reactions or what handed you are and all of that kind of a thing. So we have a similar thing the other way round where players often use their wrong foot. So it does my nut in with Salah because a lot of the time he uses his left all the time. And there are times when I'm like, oh yeah, I wish he would use his right. But then when he pings in an amazing goal, I'm like, oh my God, that's fucking amazing. So it's just the way you have to remember they've been playing football for 15, 20 years by the point they're getting to this age. They've learned to play a certain way. And it's just, if someone throws something at you, you don't think, oh, should I catch it with my right hand or my left hand? I put my right hand up because I'm right-handed. Yeah. And I just think it just comes down to that, your natural reactions. If you start confusing that, you're going to turn into Kepa. That's probably Kepa's problem. He's trying to decide which fucking hand to use. What's Sarri saying? What the fuck?
Wow.
Hey, when I saw Kepa against West Brom, that third goal was diabolic, man. He didn't. That long ranger that they scored via Walker assists. That disgusted me, man.
Can I just say this podcast, I must apologize. This podcast was not a shit on Kepa podcast, but apparently that's where we're going with this shit. So but seriously,
easy
back
targets,
to
man, low hanging fruit.
It is what it is. But back to that game, I think
something else that Kepa can't pick up with his hands, low hanging fruit.
my thing with the Spurs game and why it's particularly frustrating as well, and I can imagine it is for Spurs fans and the team as well, is you realize for even those last 10 minutes, they didn't play particularly badly.
No.
It wasn't sorry?
Spurs didn't play particularly badly.
Yeah, they didn't play particularly badly. It's just one of those where things.
Can I say something, D?
Yeah,
the thing about Tottenham versus West Ham games in recent times, even when Mourinho had his first game and they beat them, they were 3-0 ahead. They still had that mentality, and West Ham came back and they scored the offside goal as well. So they could have made it 3-3. It was an offside goal at London Stadium, and then before that, I think West Ham beat Spurs 1-0 at White Lane. Then it's the same season. They beat them also at Wembley during the Carling Cup, I think. So West Ham do have the number, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I'm not taking it. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think any of us is taking it away from West Ham.
Yeah,
I think because as I said, the West Ham actually came.
Fun West Ham.
No, no, I'm not taking it from West Ham. When they came out in the second half, they actually upped their game. Do you know what I mean? And and the funny thing is, I was gonna say as well, like this season is weird because usually when you have a team smacking another team like 3-0 or when someone's 3-0 down or whatnot, usually people tend to give up. They don't really try that much. And then when I'm watching that game, I'm looking at West Ham thinking, bro, I don't know what secret juice that Moyes gave them, but they came out in the second half thinking, bro, we're not losing this game. Do you get what I'm saying? I think
he did not have that juice at United, though. He definitely did not.
Bro, that's the thing. As I said, anyways, fuck Spurs though, still, because at the end of the day, they smacked us 6-1 in it. So fuck them still. But bro, it was good to see that. It was quite refreshing to see West Ham come and do that, especially the fact. And Bell came on, and Bell didn't really do much, man. He was a bit useless, to be fair to me.
Slow.
He didn't have that chance. Remember, he could have buried.
Yeah, he did. He did, yeah, but I don't know. Maybe it's match fitness. I don't know, but I think when he doesn't look like he should be there. He looks wrong. That's just me, though. I don't know why.
When you say he looks wrong, Dave, you mean positionally or in a Spurs shirt or Premier League?
I don't know. I just think everything, like compared to the types of players that they have, I think he just does not fit, and I think that he might struggle to fit into that team this season. I think because I don't know why. I don't see why
Ben's
Mourinho would then
face.
go. No, but why is he agreeing with me or what? I didn't even see
No,
his face.
he's like no.
No, I don't know. I don't know because I don't know why you would take. I don't know why you would bench. Again, I don't watch Tottenham, but I don't know why you would bench someone like Lucas Moura and then put on Bell. I get it. Bell's that this superstar, blah
Oh
blah
no,
blah, and
but
whatnot. But that's
when Bill
my
came on,
preference was for
So
them.
on the point of Lucas Moura, so I've got a friend who's a Tottenham fan. Shout out Henry if you're watching. But I had the same thing. So we were talking about, I can't remember what Spurs match I was watching, and I was messaging him about it. And apparently Lucas Moura holds onto the ball quite a lot, and he's always looking to be the last man. He's not really as much as a team player. So I have a good impression of him. But to be honest, a lot of that is based on match of the day highlights. I don't really watch Tottenham. Like I find them, they play a certain style of football that I find quite boring. So unless it's in a big kind of match, I don't really watch them.
Fair enough.
But yeah, apparently like Lucas Moura, they're not as a fan base the biggest fan of.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
I've heard similar things. Sorry, just very quickly. Yeah, I've heard similar things, Ben. They get frustrated at him quite easily. I think he makes wrong decisions when to pass the ball, when to hold on to the ball, when to hold up play, when to try and accelerate forward. That's what I've heard as well. So it must be.
Yeah, but then are we saying that we're not going to expect Bell to do that?
No, I just think that Bale has a
We'll
bit
have to see.
more game knowledge in terms of Premier League. Obviously, Premier League has changed since Bale was last here. It evolves so quickly, but I don't know. Personally, I would play Bale, but I think we have to give him
More time.
We have to give him
Yeah.
time, man.
To be honest, sorry, just to pick up on that point you said about the Premier League changing. I mean, and obviously Bale has a spotty injury record, so that might be an issue down the line. But I think it's actually changed more towards his strengths. Now, I don't think he might have the same kind of like power that
Impact.
he used to do because the league has changed. But I think he'll fit in very well. I'm not sure we'll see as many of the kind of like maybe the breakaway goals that he had early on. You know, I still remember the time he sliced apart Inter Milan at the San Siro. And so the game's changed a bit more. Defenses are quicker. Defenses are more play on the break, try and catch people breaking. So I think from that point of view, but I think in terms of physicality, in terms of pace, in terms of stamina when he's fit, I think it suits him a lot, and I think he will go up to speed very quickly.
Oh well, the Premier League might have changed, but Spurs remain the same. Anyhow,
see, this is the thing. Just to provide the other one, sorry, just throw on the end, just the other angle. If I was Mourinho and if I was a Spurs fan, and this is as an experienced Liverpool fan, I wouldn't be too worried. I mean, obviously it's disappointing. You want to take the 3 points, but the fact is they got themselves in that position. And it's just going to be a mentality thing from this point of view. How do you keep that going? How do you, if you're 3-1 up, 3-0 up, and you lose a goal, you need to shut that game down. And to be honest, if there's anybody in the world that can train that into players, shutting a game down, it's Jose Mourinho. So it's a difficult one to call now. Obviously, you need to build up more of an image over the season of how things are going. But I wouldn't be too worried, to be honest, if I was Spurs. I'd be frustrated because you want the 3 points. But given the weirdness of the season anyway, like I would be like, yes, disappointing, but for 80 minutes we were 3-0 up and we were comfortable, and we just need to extend that, maybe a bit more fitness, a bit more concentration, maybe a bit more kind of like what's the word? Nuance with your tactical approach, pulling people down a bit more. There's tactical fouls on the halfway line. But like again, if there's somebody to put that into a team, Mourinho is a very good manager.
Would you say the same thing for Chelsea? Because we're winning 2-0 against Southampton, then 2-2, winning 3-2. Like closing out the game as well. Like we can't really defend leads properly.
I think the main issue with Chelsea is going to be the defense.
Hold on, why is D smiling so hard? Because there's something going on.
He's just happy to be back.
No, I'm happy to be back, and two, let's call it straight. Ben has gone on this. Ben normally is not, shall we say, the most optimistic person when it comes to certain aspects of football. So the fact that he looked at Spurs and was like, even though like Spurs fans, you guys should take heart. Things can still. It means a lot because I'm just kind of like, wow. Even Ben is consoling Spurs fans. That has got to be like, it makes me happy. It makes me
I'm a
smile.
generous soul.
Hey, man, I'm
As long
happy
as
to
your name
see.
isn't Jordan Pickford, I've got no quarrel with you.
Hey, like, and Jordan Pickford is a dickhead,
Big
100%,
time.
because that is like, speaking of, so I think we spent enough time shitting on Spurs, complimenting
Are we going on to
Spurs.
Chelsea or?
No, I think we should start with the person whose team has actually managed to have 2 wins on the trot. Man United.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Like, that is 2 wins on the trot. Let's even say
I'm still
the
in
new.
shock. I'm
Sorry,
still shocked that Bissaka scored. I'm still in shock.
man,
It's a
you live in strange times. Welcome to 2020, bruv. This is it.
Well,
So.
Dage, that thing that I posted, first time to win 10 away consecutive games.
Oh no, I don't want to hear all that stuff, man. I heard that yesterday when I was watching something else as well.
Well,
You know why I don't want to hear all that stuff?
What was it?
Huh?
10 weeks? What was it, Helen?
The
10
first
away.
10 wins away from home, 10 straight
Yeah,
wins away from home.
like even under Fergie, under Busby.
Listen, remember when we finished second and everyone was like, second. Do you know how many draws we had that season? I don't want to hear all that stuff. These are the kind of things, that is these little tiny things that gas people up. And it's like, bro, chill out, man. We're not interested in that. Let's take one game at a time and let's get home wins. Do you know what I mean? Let's get home wins.
Sorry,
Let's win the trophy.
I did you. Are you talking about people getting gassed up? You?
No, I'm gassed. I'm not gonna lie. I was gassed yesterday, 100%.
Okay, cool.
I'm not gonna lie.
Man United shirt for the first time.
Bro,
No, I'm not, bro. I always wear my. No, don't try it, bro. Go watch the videos. I wear my other United shirt.
Deji, mate, the tag is still on the back. You might want to take that off.
Yeah, you dickhead.
you should not try and chat shit. When Callum and I came on for the call, this is the first time that has put on the shirts and is smiling into the podcast.
No, don't try it, bro. Go and check the videos, bro. I wear my old. You man chat shit.
Just sitting up for the camera, like he was like a peacock. He was like, "Yeah, that's right. My team wins." Shit.
Listen.
So to be fair, I've seen him wear the shirt before, but today he's like this.
That's what I'm
Normally he's like this.
This is like my mistake.
You're speaking about shirts, yeah. Earlier when you said about today it's going to be like a chaos of disappointment, and you're going to wear like a badge. You should look at your club right there, man.
Is it?
Who? United?
No.
Yeah. See, I'm talking to you. Your club.
I see. I'm ignoring you on purpose. Deji, you were saying, bro, your team has 2 wins on the trot. Talk us.
I'm gassed, man. I'm yesterday I was gassed, and you know what? It's funny, because I put in a group chat. I said to kids, we can get a W. It's possible we can get a W. And what did I say when we was doing the Champions League thing? I said, bruv, it's possible that we can get a second. I didn't expect to win yesterday, but I expected us to beat the other teams. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, we can beat them, but PSG is gonna be a bit tough. And funny enough, PSG didn't really show up like that yesterday. And I think we played amazing. The reason why I'm gassed here is because it's been a long time since I've seen Man United so drilled. Like, it was unbelievable. I was like, bro, these guys are playing like a squad. It's unbelievable. The Newcastle game, it's a bit tricky, in it, because we were 1-0 down for quite some time. And I think it wasn't, as I said, it wasn't until more creative players came on the pitch that we was able to actually break down Newcastle. So that was quite interesting to see that as well. So I was like, okay, cool, that's not too bad. But I'm not going to lie, the PSG, that Newcastle game didn't really gas me like that, because I was just like, bro, do you know what I mean? Like, Newcastle didn't really show up. We should have smacked them like from early and stuff like that. We was making too many mistakes in the first half. Do you know what I mean? I think we didn't show up until the last 20 minutes or something like that. So I wasn't that gassed. But mate, yesterday, as I said, even if we had lost, we played like that, I would have been like, yeah, you know what, kudos. We're moving on to the next thing. Do you get what I'm saying? But yesterday, I could not believe it. I was like, mate, these guys came out to play today, boy.
Which part of the team did you think had mostly improved over the last 2 games? Because after you guys lost 6-1 to Spurs, everyone was quick to point the fingers at Maguire because Maguire. But
because his forehead is so dense, the gravity well just naturally pulls your finger towards it.
And him tackling his own players and pulling his own players out of the way. There was a lot. There was a lot of Harry Maguire to get over, is what I'm saying. And then in these last 2 games, would you say was it an entire upgrade for the entire team, or was it that certain aspects of the team stepped up? Which what you say, because
You
we
know
were
what?
talking
It's
about
hard.
this and we mentioned Mata. So Mata, especially in the Newcastle
Yeah.
game, did something. So how do you what was it about the games?
I think, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. There's too many things that I feel has changed over that time period. Like, for example, one of them is captaincy. I said it from time ago, beginning of the season. I was like, Maguire's not a captain. I don't see this guy getting vocal. It's almost like the minute we concede, he's just like, he goes into his own shell. Whereas Bruno is out there telling people what to do. Go here, do this. Bro, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's what you need in a captain. There's that. The defense yesterday, I don't know what happened, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, Lindelof, I've been a fan of him for a very long time until the period where he started doing a madness. And I was like, Lindelof, you're beginning to become one of those guys who you're not good enough in it. And then yesterday he played well, and then you see Twanzebe come in and he's played well. I'm still a fan of what's his name, Bailly. I'm still a fan of him, but the injury thing is really really bad, and that's unacceptable. Do you know
Or
what I
Phil
mean?
Jones.
I'll fuck him. I don't know about him. Man. Actually, what? Let me not be rude. I said you triggered me there. I like what you've done.
That was just a whiplash. That was
That,
just like
It was, isn't it?
that's an instinct response. That's
Yeah,
PTSD
I
right
don't
there.
like that. For
You're
them
just
to
kind of
calm
like,
down. Because he triggered me there, and I like it. I like the way they did that.
I got the mute. Sorry.
Because I said this season I'm not gonna cuss, man. I said I'm not gonna cuss, man, like that. But no, Phil Jones, forget him. I'm not interested in all that. But yeah, man, even Luke Shaw playing, left centre back, I was like, you know what? As I said, D, I said it to you guys already. I was like, look, I don't know why we can't play in a week out. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, everything just worked yesterday, man. And boy, it is what it is. The midfield just looks better. McTominay, I'm still not a big fan of. I understand why he played yesterday. Do I want him like starting every game? No, not really. Because he's just a bully on pitch, but his intelligence is shit. Do you get what I'm saying? It's call a spade, but he's a bully, man. Yeah, no, he's not. He's not the smartest. He's not the smartest on the pitch, but he's a bully. What he was doing to Neymar and Mbappe yesterday, I was like, bruh, you can bully them all you like, and fuck Neymar still. I just have to put that out there still. Fuck PSG. What I say about PSG as well? Fuck them as well.
I love the fact that literally after you said, "Oh, I ain't cursing out players this season," PSG comes up at this
I'm
time.
not cussing Man United players.
Sorry,
I'm not cussing Man United.
right.
Everyone
Okay,
else can get it. Everyone else can get it. 100%.
makes sense. Makes
Does
sense.
Lingard still have a future at Man United? Lingard.
I don't think so.
Van
No.
der Beek.
No, Van der Beek does. Come on, man. My man's just coming in, but
Because he doesn't start games, isn't it?
yeah, he hasn't started. But then, bro, who do you replace him with now? Because now everyone's a lot of fans are showing to be
Sorry,
a lot of fans are start calling out for Fred to start games and stuff like that. So now it's a case of like, who do you replace him with, innit? And Van der Beek seems like he plays number 10, and you're not gonna swap him out for Bruno, innit? And then obviously on the Matter situation as well. Matters just Clark. He's on a different level. But then when I think like last season, I used to say to you guys all the time, like with players like Pogba, there's certain players that can't play with shit guys. There's certain players that can't live a team in it. I'm saying if you put him into a sick guy or a couple of sick people, all of a sudden Matt's the one pulling strings and that. That's what I think, anyways. But yeah, it's tricky, man.
See, I think jumping on that point and kind of Man United as a whole for the last couple of games, I think a lot of it comes down to when a team and the individuals are just about their own business. So Mata gets diluted when he's dealing with players around him that aren't doing their job. Because then he has to put in the extra effort, he has to do the extra thing. Same with Pogba, he has to run that extra 2 yards because someone isn't in space yet. He has to hit that ball 10 yards further than he would want to because someone hasn't made their run the right way. Yeah. And I think that's an important thing about building a team. Like the first phase is to get everybody doing their own thing so that you can start trusting them. And maybe that's Maguire's not captain material whatsoever. But I think Maguire's been thrown in there fix the defence, and he's not that kind of guy. He's a great defender if you're just this is your portion of the pitch, deal with anything in there. And I think that's what Solskjaer needs to get to. He needs to get to a point, first of all, where you've got a team where everybody knows their role, everybody knows what they're doing, a bit of tactical flexibility where you can be like, well, I'm going to throw in McTominay because Neymar's there and he's going to bully the hell out of him. And then in another game, it's like, oh, maybe Van der Beek because I want a bit more on the ball kind of skill kind of thing. But I think the important thing is if Man United can get their players just doing their role, once everybody's on that level, then you can start worrying about more systems and what people are doing off the ball and that kind of a thing.
It's true because yesterday.
In it, Ben.
Sorry?
Say that again.
Basically what Klopp did, right?
100%. And, that's what a lot of good managers do. Like, it's just about getting players concentrating on their own game. And then when people are doing that, you can start drilling them in, okay, right, so if you're the left back, well, I've got the left winger doing what he is supposed to do, which means you as a left back can just ping the ball into this place. And it's about building up those systems. And people do it in a different way. Like, I know Roy Hodgson, who I can't stand, he does it by, he will train a player. If you're in this position, you have 3 options on the ball and will literally drill them in that so that when all of his players, when they're in a position, they've got the picture in their head and they know they've got 3 options to do. And I think it's that kind of like, you need to build that basic before you can start looking at, all the kind of like overlapping centre backs and pressing from the front and that kind of, people aren't doing their standard job. You can't then get more complicated with the tactics. And I think
yesterday that's what basically happened. Everyone was actually playing how they're supposed to play. They were doing their job first, if that makes sense, before doing anything else. And I think that's why I was saying that's why I'm gassed, because yesterday I was watching a game and I was like, raw, these men are playing sick. Wan-Bissaka was unbelievable yesterday. Absolutely unbelievable. This guy was making some sick tackles. I was like, bro. And do you know what I mean? To actually put a stop to Neymar and I'm not gonna lie, Neymar done a couple of ones. I think who did he make? He made someone though, and I was like, that's disrespectful. Don't do that. But no, man, to put a stop to them two, bruv, you have to clap your hands, man, and you have to give Ollie credit as well, because whatever he did and told them yesterday in terms of the tactics and whatnot, it worked perfectly fine. It's just a case of consistency. That's all we need, man.
So I think the thing is as well, you've got a lot of good players. So if you can just get people doing their job, then you're just giving people space to shine. And like Rashford's a great player, Martial's a great player, Bruno's a great player, Pogba's a great player. Like, you've got great players. You just up to this point haven't had a great team.
Speaking of great players who know how to do their job and you put into a position to fix it, this is a nice segue into Liverpool, because you look at it and like VVD is not a small piece. It's not a small piece of your.
This guy, you're gonna have to mute your thing.
Mute yourself.
Is he trying to waft the drill away?
Huh? Sick? I should meet it. Oh.
Yeah.
Cheers, pal.
There we go. So VVD is not a small bit of a team to lose, and Liverpool lost them in one of the worst possible ways. Also, before we continue, I do need, because Ben called me out on this, last season we had a conversation about goalkeepers and bad challenges. And at the time, I was very like, I believe in our first ever podcast, the words "man just has to firm it" in it were said, and literally, sorry, I think that was either you or Kel, and I think that was the way, that was my mindset going in, of like, you know what, if a tackle is a tackle, sometimes you just have to firm it, which is funny considering I'm an Arsenal fan, and some of our players have been on the end of some really stupid tackles, right? Like, but even then, I saw the Pickford challenge and I was like, that is very stupid. That is very disgusting. It's a reckless challenge, and it takes out a big piece of like Liverpool's play. So Ben, how are you feeling about Liverpool playing and going forward? How you guys, like, obviously we can't talk about that game without that big incident, because that was that big incident in that game. VAR also fucked up for God knows what reason. But in particular, like Van Dijk out, is he that transformative in your defense that you think going forward you guys are going to have problems?
Yeah, I mean, you can't take a player that good out of it. He's best in Premier League, at least, if not arguably the best centre-back in the world, so of course you're going to miss him. I think the main thing that he offers in terms of that defence is that cool, that calmness, that leadership within the role. And I think that is going to be more difficult to replace than his actual footballing ability. So we've seen Fabinho play in that role, and he looks very, very good in it. We've seen Matip play in that role; he's very, very good. But it's that kind of like, it's similar to the Maguire thing. Like Maguire is a very good defender, but he's not that leader in the defence. Van Dijk is that leader in the defence that controls everyone and gets everyone in a position to play. I think we will see long-term benefits for Joe Gomez because I think they all rely on Van Dijk to kind of like shuttle them around and tell them what to do and stuff like that. But I think for Joe Gomez as a young defender and as a regular, as first choice with him, I think he's going to have a season of learning from a mental standpoint about how to marshal the defense and stuff like that. So hopefully, if Van Dijk comes back, Gomez, if he's playing, he's going to need to step up. Though. I don't necessarily think that he's going to step up into that exact role, and I would never put that pressure onto him. But I just think he's relied more than the others on Van Dijk to be controlling, to let Gomez focus on his game. And I think, like we were just saying a minute ago, Gomez has got very good at what his role is, and now he needs to kind of expand into how he can do his role and support the players around him. Whereas before, he's been very, very good at his role. I think he does rely a bit too much on his recovery pace. So again, he's going to have to think more, and I think that's going to be positive down the line. But obviously, he's out for the whole season. I don't know whether we're going to look at a defender in January, maybe another young defender to come in. But yeah, it's going to be a big blow. And it's disappointing, but to be honest, I spoke about it last year. I think the goalkeepers are way too protected. And I think it's another situation where the governing bodies, they've hurt themselves, like in their confusion, by not looking at this issue sooner. Pickford got nothing for it because VAR decided that someone was offside and then this and that and blah, 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 blah. What that is now is that's another decision you've made where you have to follow that in the future.
Yeah, it sets up a really dangerous precedent of already bad behavior of the things that they're going to do. But the thing is, like with Liverpool's defense seems to have been really unlucky this season. First, you guys lost Adrian. Sorry, you lost Alisson. Yeah, and Adrian has been somewhat,
I'll be all right if we lost Adrian.
I imagine you would. And now you're dealing with Van Dijk being out, and like the team will have to make adjustments accordingly. But like apart from that, were you okay with how the team played on the day, or just no?
I think we're still warming up. I said it on the first podcast for the season. I think the first 5 games, the points are important, but I think in terms of form, I think all of that was rubbish. And now we're starting the season about now in terms of, because no one had the pre-season, nobody was really prepared for it. Everything's been muddled up. The international breaks didn't help. They were dumb. It's just greed on the part of the FAs. Like, fucking, we're in the middle of a pandemic and you're going to take 23 people from 23 different clubs and shove them all together with a bunch of coaches. Like, did you hear about Naby Keita? So he was put for Guinea in a room. There was basically they had suites and they had 2 bedrooms in the suite, and he was sharing with each bedroom had 2 people sharing. So it's basically 4 people from different bubbles were living in a flat together all of a sudden.
Oh damn!
And this is the thing: to get a bit of TV revenue money, and you're taking people Corona potentially across the world for this. I just think it's dumb. But yeah, I thought we played okay. I think we're warming up. I think now is when we're going to start
kicking on.
And I mean that for every team. This is when we're going to start see who's clicking into gear. So there are some teams that have had some good early form. Can they keep that going, or were they just a little bit fitter than the other guys? And then there are teams that were struggling. But an example of both of them, Leeds have done very well. But is it just that they have taken advantage of, because their style of football is to create chaos.
Yeah.
So when teams aren't prepared for it, I think that plays into their hands. In the same way, Sheffield United are very organised and they've had a tough go of it because they're not in the position. So I think it's going to happen to every Premier League team, every team across the world, to be honest. And I think now is where we're going to see how Liverpool play for this season. I think the previous 4 or 5 games have just been a bit pre-season, but with points.
Yeah.
I got
Okay.
a question for everyone. Like, if
Yeah.
you was in FA's position right now, what would you have done with the whole Pickford situation? Because they're
That's
not
a
wrong. Technically, if you look at it from their perspective, what they're saying that it was offside before that happened. The reason why they didn't book him, or whatever the case is.
Let me
It's
ask
the
you a
same.
question, Odej. Let me ask you a question, right?
Yeah.
So, the ball's gone off the pitch, yeah? You and me are playing each other. You go to get the ball. I walk off the pitch. I'm off the field of play, and I'll punch you in the face. Am I getting a red card?
Yeah,
You see,
100%.
But it's
the
not.
moment,
So how am I
the
like you can literally do that now, and you can point to the Pickford thing and go, "But hang on, look, that doesn't count."
moment
The
Ben
pitch, the ball
said,
wasn't in play. What the police can come arrest me, but the FA can't like do nothing.
the
That's
moment
literally the
Ben
precedent.
said,
To take it to the
yeah,
extreme.
the moment Ben
Oh,
said, "Let me ask a question," I was like, "Yep, this. I can see where this is going." Ben essentially just went, "I'm gonna let you finish, but just in case, yeah, now I have you." But yeah, no,
No, do
but
you know what? I looked at. I had to go watch it because I think I saw the game. I watched the Liverpool game, but I didn't see the incident, so I went back and watched it, and I was like, "Bro, man, done the scissor swooping kick, bro." I was like, I was just like, "That's mad, man. That's crazy."
that's the thing. Like like I said, as an Arsenal fan, I've seen some really horrendous tackles where everyone just kind of goes, "Oh, it's part of the game." Like part of the reason why, as much as I rate Michael Essien as a player, I still have like flashbacks of him being a dickhead. I can't remember who he did the tackle, but he goes in with this like horrendous tackle and takes a player out. And then you look at like teams like Stoke back in the day, and this was the narrative that the league kind of fostered, where they were like, oh yeah, if you want to play Arsenal, you don't have to play with them at football, just get physical and like get in with the tackles because they're soft.
Physical.
And that led to some really overzealous tackles from players, and then it led to injuries. And then when Arsenal kind of went, bruv, look at that, they're like, yeah, you guys are soft. And I think it leads and it feeds into this really horrible culture in the Premier League, where it's kind of like you have to get in and you have to like dig in deep, where it's just kind of like you don't necessarily have to do that to be able to play effectively. So yeah. But speaking of teams that are clicking and taking advantage of shit and seeing if teams can actually work together and like move forward, let's go to Chelsea. Chelsea has had quite a robust transfer window, brought in some new talent. We're quite excited.
Chelsea had a FIFA transfer window.
Yeah.
Like,
Where
yeah,
they were there just like they've just clicked available transfers. They've gone by overall rating, spent all their money, and they're like, fucking hell, they're all forwards. What the hell?
you have 90 million, you get 90 million, you get 25, you get like, here's a check, write your number, baby. And then
Well, I don't think it's quite like that, but we'll go with.
it is what it is. But yeah, so you got Chelsea fans, I think, and not even just Chelsea fans. I was just excited to see what Chelsea could do with some of the talent that they brought in, especially on the attacking end. Like, as an Arsenal fan, I am very aware of what it looks like to have a talented front section and then have a, shall we say, special defense. So let's go with let's go with that. And you guys came in, and your last two games, like Callum, Kel, how are you feeling? Do you think it's the players? Do you think it's Frankie's tactics? How are you feeling?
Phil, you take this one first, mate.
All right.
Stuck in back.
The last game, yeah, we had a clean sheet, which is yesterday. I'm proud of my defense. You know what I mean? That's what I can say. I'm not proud of my. The noise is going to start again. I'm proud of my defense. I think our midfield should work a bit harder. I mean, put in more mouths, try and put them goggles on. You know what I mean? Them Fabregas, Oscar goggles that we used to have back in the day. I mean, when you see the run, don't pass back to Kante. I mean, move forward, shift it, make the defenders run on the flanks. You know what I mean? I don't really have the brains that human have on football, but I just see what I say what I see in it. And the Southampton game, I didn't really see the goals that we conceded. I need to watch the game properly, analyze it. But for what I saw, with the way we conceded the goals, which was self-destructing with Kai Havertz.
To the Spurs is what you're saying.
Yeah, maybe not like Spurs,
Nah,
but like
you did a Spurs. You
Spurs
100%
light.
did a Spurs in
Not
that
seven,
game.
you want like a 7-Up,
100%.
like a 7-Up. Instead of Sprite, you could 7-Up in it. Yeah,
You just-
Spurs light.
but
No,
okay, cool. So like Kels, you were happy with the at least for yesterday. You were happy with the defense. You were disappointed with the midfield for yesterday at least.
yeah.
And okay, so other than that, you kind of felt like the team did okay, or
Yeah, like Ben said, like first 5, 6 games of the season, it's just basically trying to click together. And if your team did amazingly, that's great, isn't it? It might be a fluke, or it's just basically you carrying on from last season. But with us bringing all these new people in, it doesn't work like ching chang chung. You know what I mean? It's gotta take some time.
okay?
It's gotta take some
Uh,
time.
okay. Oh, actually, this is I'm not sure because I didn't see the Southampton game, but I knew Pulisic was back in the team for yesterday's Champions League game,
Yeah,
right? Was he back on the weekend against Southampton as well?
he did. Yeah,
He did. All right,
started.
cool.
No, you weren't there.
He
You
went.
weren't there.
Yeah, it was.
Started.
Oh, swear down.
Yeah,
All right.
Oh,
How
I didn't
like
even see him.
how
No,
blazed
he
how
didn't.
them
Did he
for the
play?
first 20
He
minutes.
didn't play
Yeah,
though, did he?
we blazed it for the first 20 minutes. We just didn't score between that many goals.
Oh, swear down, bro. I didn't even see him. I'm not gonna lie. You know what the highlights of the game was Stanky Leg, bro. When he started doing his madness in the back.
But for listeners new to the podcast, Stanky Legs is what Deji has affectionately named Zuma, and so Deji has taken the fact that he's not going to be insulting Man United players this season, and decided that everybody else gets their own piece of the action. So yeah,
I
but
want to shout out to
we,
all the Chelsea fans watching this channel. Big
you
up to
know.
all of you, man.
But
Yeah, man. Me and
and this,
Callum
this
are holding,
this
holding
one
it
is
down.
definitely for Callum and Kel. Pulisic last season was like that guy. Like we're excited to see him because he came on and he gave the team that extra bit. I remember him
Towards the end, yeah, towards the end.
yeah. I remember him against Liverpool. I remember him against Arsenal, where we would have lost that FA Cup final if the man had made the 90 minutes. Honestly, I caught like that game should have been 2-0. He was literally about to pull the trigger for goal number 2 when something struck him. Yeah, but right.
I shouldn't be laughing. I shouldn't be laughing.
It is what it is. So,
I said something struck him like a tip, a man fell from heaven or something. Come on.
are you guys excited about Pulisic coming back? And from what you've seen in the 2 games since he's back, do you think he's going to kick on from here, or are you thinking he's going to need more time?
Go on, Cal.
I think we all remember Pulisic, like we said at the end of last season. He was arguably one the best player in the Premier League for those kind of that period of games. I think what we have to remember is that at the start of the season, people were constantly commenting on Frank not playing him and constantly saying, like, why aren't you playing him? Why aren't you playing him? And Frank kept saying he's not ready. He's not ready. And slowly we integrated him into the team and we got the result at the end of the season after he gained match fitness, he got used to the system, etc., etc. I think Frank doesn't get enough credit for that, for the way that he integrated him into the team last season. Unfortunately, he started, he built up, and then as we saw in the FA Cup final, it just got cut dead. And I think that especially this season where nobody's had any pre-season really, we've basically just gone straight back to square one. And we're going to have to start again. And again, the same thing's happening again. Everyone's clamoring to put Pulisic straight back in the team. And Frank's saying that he's not ready. So let's see what happens. But I do think that it will take time for him to come back. His injury wasn't a little one, like fully pulling your hamstring. That can screw anyone over. So I think it is going to take time. In regards to the last 2 games, Southampton, he was incredible. I thought the way that he links up with the new players that we got, Havertz, Werner, and then it was Mount, I think, up there also in the Southampton game. They were quality. Kel, did you say that you didn't see the game and the goals?
Yeah, I didn't watch the game because I was at work, but I saw the Werner goals. That's it.
Well, basically, mate, when you see the highlights and you just look back at the goals, the difference between the goals that we were scoring and the goals that they were scoring it's like it's a joke that when you look at and you think that the game finished 3-3. Like Dave, you said you didn't see Pulisic. The goal, Kai Havertz's goal. Pulisic passed the ball to Werner, who then passed the ball to Havertz. Pulisic went through like 2 or 3 men to get that through. So he's definitely got the quality against Sevilla. He started in the middle. He started at number 10 position in the first half and didn't really do much. It was hard for him to get on the ball, hard for him to find space. Second half, he went over to the left, and he made such a difference. Instantly, he was taking on his man, getting players at the centre directly. Yeah, man, I think that it's going to take time for Frank to figure out what the best system is. Like we said, he pulled out the checkbook FIFA style. You can't just click your fingers and have everything integrated with the quality of players that we have.
Are you serious? Because I've seen them do that on FIFA when they're doing the ultimate teams and they just link the players up together and then the chemistry is just
green, innit?
wow.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's
And
like
just kind of like,
it's like magic. Well, actually,
he used to shuffle things around a bit.
my comments on people living in a FIFA world will run on.
But here's the thing with Chelsea also. Like and you were Callum. You said this a lot last season. There was a bit of a disconnect between what the team was able to produce and their efficiency in front of goal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you still see that as a problem this season, or is it kind of like, oh, we've Ben has ideas and comments, but like, would you still think that that's a particular problem, or do you think it's just kind of like Ben said, lack of a preseason? We're coming into this, or we've hit the 5-game mark now. So, like, by our estimation, as a podcast, by our estimation, we decided everyone gets a grace period of 5 matches, unless you're Spurs and West Bromwich Albion. Yeah, and then we kick on from there. So, Deji and Callum, don't give me looks. You know why I hate West Brom. You're literally the 2 people that caused me to hate this team. Just saying. But anyhow, back to the point. Like, do you think, like, now that the 5 games are done, we've seen Timo Werner scoring goals. He did really well against Southampton until, like, Chelsea decided, oh, look, let's do what Spurs do. And, before you guys did that,
Spurs are the kings of North London, so they might just want to copy them and be like them.
Okay, you hold on to that, bro. Oh shit, Madrid are losing 2-0 already. Anyhow, sorry. What? Man, life comes at you fast.
I remember Tottenham at Wild Lane and Werner scored, and then we just capitulated, didn't it? Even when Eric Diarrhea had to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
Still capitulated. I don't get it.
You know what I think though? I think Chelsea's attack is good. It's actually good. Like, it's not a problem. Chelsea's problem is just the defense. The defense is horrible. It is just a piece of shit, basically. Like, Chilwell, you know what, Chilwell, I said it on the day as well. I understood from that game. I understood why you man picked up Chilwell and spent that much money on him. It made sense because the crosses the crosses he puts in they're on point. Do you get what I'm saying? But then I look at the 2 centre backs, especially Zuma, and I think to myself, bro, this guy, mate, he's a liability, man.
He's trash.
I think we cannot label the Chelsea defense. We have 2 defenses. There's one defense that has Kepa, Zuma, Christensen, and Alonso. There's another defense that has Mendy, Thiago Silva, Tomori or Zuma, and Ben Chilwell. There's 2 different defenses, and
so that's your first choice defense and your second choice defense, yeah?
In that order, yeah, Ben.
Yeah.
The stats are there, man. When you look at the number of goals we've conceded with Zuma and Christensen at the back, it's so bad. It's so bad, and I haven't even looked at the stats including Kepa. So it will only go. You will only go down from there.
Adam, you want to live long? Don't look at the stats, man.
Maybe that's why I haven't made them.
He's never really scored for us, has he?
Who's that? Sorry, mate.
Has Christensen ever scored a goal?
Not really.
Oh, he can't even keep the ball out of the net. You're telling him to go score goals.
Jesus Christ. So again, guys, who are listening to the podcast, again, I'd like to say this is not our standard behavior, and we don't just shit on other players when we get the chance. But really and truly, this is what it is. But so right, so Chelsea, that's the Chelsea review, the United review, the Liverpool review. Now we come to the Arsenal game.
Could I just very quickly add the difference between Saturday's game against Southampton and the game yesterday against Sevilla was the defensive work as a team, and that whole Kel, I was actually quite interested to hear what you thought about the midfield.
3-0.
And the players working.
So yeah, we're recording while Madrid is getting destroyed apparently, but yeah.
I thought we worked hard against Sevilla, and that was why we came out with a 0-0. Also helps when you've got Thiago Silva, Mendy, and Ben Chilwell playing. Just saying.
Okay.
Do you think Zidane will get fired today?
I don't think so. I think they're keeping along for to see what happens for the rest of the season. So yeah, so again, like I said, we've gone to
there at home.
United and Liverpool, and I guess we have to come by hook or by crook. We have to come to Arsenal, which again, quite frankly, is just we had a chat about this before the podcast started, and just running it down, it was one of those things where, on the whole, I thought even though we lost to Man City, I thought we could have gotten at least a point from that game. I thought the Arteta went really conservative when he really didn't need to, because it's one of those things where I'm looking at it, and like I think I've said this before. I'm happy about the defensive solidity the team is showing nowadays, but the downside to that is we've suffered a bit in the attacking department. I'm not going to lie, a lot of the way Arsenal play now is kind of a version of how Mourinho plays, or Mourinho used to play, where he tried to have a solid defense, and then whatever happened from there is what, like, it just seems to go through. But the problem with Arsenal is, one, I don't think we have the players to actually fully embrace that style of football. There's certain bits especially in the midfield, that just don't click for that kind of football. Maybe the acquisition of Partey fixes that a bit. We'll see. By the way, it has to be said, I still don't understand how Arsenal got Thomas Partey. I don't understand it.
Because Chelsea didn't go in for a bid.
Hey, I don't understand it.
Clause, and
I don't care how it is, but I don't.
We gave you our leftovers, mate.
I was actually thinking about this the other day. Imagine you're Thomas Partey and you're on the pitch, on the bench, the other day, and you're looking at, you've got Ceballos in the middle and you've got Xhaka in the middle, and you're like, why aren't I playing? And then you turn to moan to the person next to you, and it's fucking El Neni. And you're like, why am I here? What the fuck? Get your phone out of your sock, like agent. Yeah, what the fuck am I doing here? Why am I in bed?
And he's stuck with us for at least 3 years.
Ben, I thought you were going to say turn to your right and moan at Ozil.
That's a low blow.
So but like the problem with that game was, I think this is also a side effect of like a tendency that Pep has as well, where Pep, I think, overthinks certain opposition, and I think that's what happened with Arteta, where he just overthought what was going to happen, because towards the end of the game, in the last 20 minutes, I didn't see anything that City played us off the field. We weren't holding on or hanging on just barely. We were still in the game, but we just seemed to lack that extra drive to like go forward, which again, you will understand when you realize that for some reason on God's green earth that I cannot fathom, Willian was playing as a central striker.
And Where was Lacazette?
Sorry?
Where was Lacazette?
That's a valid question. I would love to ask Arteta what the fuck Lacazette was doing on the bench when, and then you're putting him. Don't get me wrong. I don't think Willian is a bad player. I think in the right position, when he's used properly, which he showed when we played, and he was played properly against Sheffield United the week before, he can deliver and give you something good. But if you're going to put Willian on the field, you can't then decide that you're going to chuck your best attacking option in Aubameyang on the left when one, you already have a player who does the job better than Aubameyang anyways in Saka. If you have someone and he already knows and dominates that left side of the pitch, he does it and he does it well. There is no, if you're going to play someone center and you're not going to play Lacazette, then you have no reason not to play Aubameyang in his preferred position. So I was really confused about that. There was one, but this is the I have to balance that out saying I realized this is literally we're still in his first year as being full-time manager of him being here. Mistakes are going to happen. Certain things need to apparently click through. One of the things that I think he still needs to work on is I think he makes some very bad substitutions. I don't always understand his logic and his thinking behind certain substitutions, especially when the instructions he seems to give don't pan out the way. Like, I love the fact of being able to get out of Xhaka and Ceballos, which, quite frankly, after the way those two played under Emery, it seemed like, so that's a mini miracle in and of itself. The defense seems to know what they're doing more, and they handle, like, last season, I'm looking at stats, and I was telling Deji and Callum this. Last season, I was always looking at the stats, and the stats at the amount of teams, the shots that teams got at our goal was absolutely ridiculous. This is, it's gone down. It seems like, the defense mostly knows where.
For now.
Sorry?
For now.
That's true. For now.
Team just won yesterday. Chill. You're getting all uppity like you don't have.
No, I'm not getting uppity. I'm being honest with you. It's for now.
He's warning you down the line. You're getting very passionate about this.
And that's what I'm saying. Now. It's for now because as we all know,
as we run out of time.
As we all know, what happens to Arsenal is that at the beginning they're all uppity and all that stuff. And then by the end of the season, they pull a Spurs as well. So, it's one of them things.
Just because we are kind of running on time. So perhaps this is something we take to another and kind of like more go through it as a fuller debate, the Arsenal situation. But I just want to end. I can't hear you, D. I can see your mouth flapping, but there's nothing coming through. I just have one question for you, just in terms of that match. Do you think Arsenal would have been better? Do you think they would have achieved more? And you think they would have had that extra drive if you hadn't fired the Gunnosaurus? So if they had that little dino boy on the sideline cheering them on, do you think that's come to...
To bring up a valid point, I really do think that if we had Gunnosaurus, he might have given us that extra pep. Because
exactly.
Because you look at it and you just kind of go, like, if, what Arteta couldn't get through to the players, all the players had to see was like, oh my God, Gunnosaurus is there. He would give them... it is. Because you know how when when people kind of go, oh, you're getting tired, you're running out of juice, and then you just see like that sign that just says pub open, and then you're just kind of like, yes, I can make it. That is what Gunnosaurus does. And the fact it's been appreciated for so long, it's quite disappointing. So to answer your question, Ben, yes, Gunnosaurus would have made a difference. Kel, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I was going to say, do we have cheerleaders, Callum? Like I was saying.
Cheerleaders.
You mean mascot?
Cheerleaders? Yeah, mascot, sorry.
Let's ask our comment section. Do you have cheerleaders at your club? Comment below. Let us know what your mascot is. There's a little subscribe button down at the bottom. Hit that. Hit the bell. It goes ding, and you get to hear all of this shit. If you like what we're saying, like it. If you think we're being idiots, like it so you can find it later on and tell us why we were idiots.
Yeah.
Just hit everything. Apart from the X in the corner. Just start hitting stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So
see what happens.
Anything that looks like shiny, just click it. So click subscribe, click the bell, like it. And then you can confuse YouTube into thinking we're a bunch of guys who actually know what the fuck we're talking about.
Tell us what the weekly prize is.
The prize. Oh, basically,
So we actually have a prize. It's the Gunnosaurus suit. Got it for a tenner from Arsenal. Don't need it.
I'm not joking. I had a conversation with Ozil, and considering he's paying the man's salary, he decided he would loan us the suit. Because Ozil isn't doing anything anyways, he might as well help the podcast out. So there you go. But guys,
plot twist is actually Ozil in the Gunnosaurus suit.
That wasn't long. It's going to make a great episode of Scooby-Doo.
all this time we've been thinking, also listening at the matches, also listening doing shit.
Exactly.
How
Just
but,
there like this, peeking.
guys, on a serious, thank you very much for listening to us. Ramble on about how our teams have affected and improved and made us feel throughout the week. As an Arsenal fan, I hope all the other podcasters' teams turn shit because I need every help I can get. But yeah, thanks again. Thanks for listening to us. We love and appreciate you guys. In general, I'm going to put this as a note out. I know the world is kind of horrible and seems kind of shit and all that kind of stuff, but hopefully we are like that tiny bit of ray of sunshine that comes through to make your days better. And yeah, stay safe and be good. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.
Man, a bad man.
Single tear,
Peace.
So excellent.